What is up, you muffin munching muggles? Welcome to Fiction and Reality, where we help you, yes, you, become the most devilishly gifted human that you know you are and that you knew you always could be. So, you want to know about making power systems, huh? Well, just put your golden guns down, put away your Shireen guns, and I'll let you in on the goods. From Destiny to Naruto to Elden Ring, which I still haven't finished, we've seen countless number of power systems brim to light in the world of fiction over the course of these last few decades and years, prim and proper with creativity and ingenuity. Creativity cannot be taught, but you can always draw upon an ancient model to lay a solid foundation to give you time for ideas to begin to bud. There is, of course, elemental alignment systems that video games such as Destiny and shows like Avatar and Naruto ascribe to, which I believe is a solid foundation of where you can start. These power systems tend to be centered around some core element revolving around controlling or being attuned to natural elements like fire, water, earth, air, and sometimes more abstract forces like lightning, ice, or darkness. They also sometimes allow room for branches of subspecialties or powers, right, to bloom into fruition. Powers are typically tied to the user's affinity for one or more of the elements, often based on the personality, lineage. What's more is this system emphasizes balance, with elements having strengths and weaknesses against one another, creating dynamic interactions. For Destiny, that source is void, arc, and solar. Hey, I don't remember that being part of the mechanics, huh? Galahorns only. For Naruto, wind, fire, air, lightning, and earth jutsu. Hey, what's the fastest way to a woman's heart? A Chidori. For Avatar, earth, wind, air, fire. So we've cemented the bricks or grafted a framework, but where do you go next? The component we all look for in a well-rounded power system is, of course, the obscurity or uniqueness, the withering tree in this thicket of a lush forest, right? What component of that power separates a character from the rest of the world? For Naruto, it's chakra natures and advanced techniques. Every ninja can manipulate chakra, but their affinity for a particular element, fire, water, earth, wind, or lightning, is determined by innate factors. Some can learn multiple natures or advanced forms like combining elements, ice release, which is combined with water and wind. By the way, Haku is a dude, and they're also separated by bloodline abilities such as the Hyuga's Byakugan or the Uchiha's Sharingan. There are also unique techniques beyond standard elemental usage, such as Naruto's Rasen Shuriken, combining wind chakra with precision, and jutsu that can only be performed dependent on what chakra nature you're born with. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, people in that world are born with or without the power to manipulate one of the four elements: water, earth, fire, and air. Mastery and advanced bending forms also exist, such as metal bending, as we see with Toph, and blood bending, as we see with Katara, which come with dedication and some ingenuity in its own right. And of course, Sokka's boomerang bending.
Wait, my boomerang!
There's no time!
Oh, I see. So there's time to get your scrolls and time to get your staff, but no time for my boomerang?
That's correct.
There is, of course, also the Avatar, who is the only person capable of bending all four elements and entering the Avatar state, connecting to past lives. In Destiny, you have light and darkness subclasses. Guardians wield the light, channeling elemental subclasses, classes which are solar, arc, void, or the darkness, stasis. Solar's tied to healing and burning, arc, mobility and power, void, suppression and visibility, and stasis, freezing and control. Holy crap, I hated when stasis came out. Hated it. The most based take ever. Never add freezing your opponents in an FPS shooter. It's just not a good idea. And just for perspective, I'm a Warlock main. What separates these characters? So Hunters, Warlocks, and Titans are all special roles within Destiny. And while they share the same power source from the light, their abilities manifest uniquely. For example, a Void Super for the Warlock manifests an entirely different way than it would for a Void Hunter or a Void Titan subclass. How do you go about making these powers unique? Well, it's not that hard, you blunderbuss. Use your noggin. I find that combining a touch of the character's philosophy with a speck of symbolism tends to work wonders when trying to create abilities or powers for characters. I'll share my method, or the trick I tend to use when creating my own characters for my novel. Find out what that character stands for and assign it to an object or some symbol. Try to create a metaphor or a simile that manifest those beliefs, ideals, or values, and you'll need to spend some time doing this, getting to know your character inside and out. For example, one of my characters in my novel is named Helios. He has a earth-based nature that allows him to manipulate sunflower seeds. Yeah, I know that sounds lame, but he can shoot sunflower seeds so fast that they are akin to bullets and can blast through your ribcage and speckle you with holes like Swiss cheese. Here's my metaphor. He's a sunflower, right? Swaying between the line of morality between shadow and sunlight, but regardless of his own beliefs, moves forward with the understanding that there is no superiority amongst humanity and that all beings should walk amongst each other, neither ascending a single step higher than the other. Higher. That has a nice ring to it. His ability's name is Higher. He can absorb photons or sunlight into his sunflower seeds and shoot them back out at anyone who rises higher than those seedlings are teleported right in front of him at the same level, right? And are then made vulnerable to an attack from his scythe. To just reinforce some, let's take a look at the village hidden in the hood. Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes.
Look at me while you die, Batman. Look at me.
Tsukiyomi embodies Itachi's intelligence, precision, and belief in control. Itachi values calculated actions and minimizing unnecessary harm, shown by his approach to conflict, a illusory world where Itachi has complete dominance over time and space, reflecting his desire to control situations in order to avoid chaos. The limbo technique reflects Madara's philosophy of superiority and detachment. Oh, and we're talking about the Madara post-reanimation, but pre-transition. He sees himself as being above others and envisions a world where he reigns unchallenged. Limbo creates shadow clones in an invisible dimension, sort of that attack from a realm that is untouchable to others. Naruto's Rasen Shuriken, the jutsu that scrambled Kakazu's guts like spaghetti noodles. The Rasen Shuriken sort of symbolizes Naruto's persistence, creativity, belief in self-improvement. His journey is about surpassing limits and achieving greatness through effort and determination. That technique represents his growth as it took immense training and creative thinking to evolve the standard Rasengan into something far more destructive and intricate. So remember, one thing to keep in mind when pondering how to sort of cultivate a distinct power system is the philosophical significance for giving a character said power or trait. Another reason we find power systems unique, the lore of your world. I mean, the historical and cultural context of your story is responsible for shaping almost the entirety of its atmosphere and most certainly motivates others to keep turning the pages. I mean, I'm not a fan of JJK. You know that. The world knows that. God, no. But hey, maybe one of your characters accidentally swallows a finger and eventually... Wait, that's a spoiler. Okay, so we know in the world of One Piece, the history of infinite conflicts exists between the world government and the pirates. And we've recently uncovered in the story itself that the devil fruits may be responsible for choosing their users in some way, namely the Nika Nika fruit that started the government in sort of cataclysmic scramble for the pirates after they realize Luffy has awakened that fruit. Consider developing some sort of cultural significance or societal influence to that power that differentiates it from others. Here's some questions you can maybe ask yourself. Will the power shift the balance of law within your world? Will the undertaking or development of the power push countries to war? How is your character perceived by society due to that power? Is the power to be cherished or hated? We all know how the villages had a sort of malignant perception of the Jinchuriki, the vessels of the tailed beast in Naruto. Are they going to be sitting out on that swing all alone like Naruto, bumping their heads to sadness and sorrow? Then there's Millennia's Scarlet Rot and its context within the world of Elden Ring. The Scarlet Rot is not just a disease but an entity tied to cosmic decay and corruption within Elden Ring. Millennia's mastery and use of the destructive force embodies her refusal to succumb to despair. However, her use of the rot also comes at a great personal cost, reflecting the theme of sacrificing oneself for a greater cause, which for her was protecting her brother, Michaela. Okay, pulling the brakes. What does that mean? You need to pull the brakes, right? Get your foot off the gas. You'll need limitations to maintain some degree of balance within your power system, or else you'll end up ripping your story in half and scraping and scrambling to put all the pieces back together. Listen, even Itachi couldn't spam Amaterasu to infinity and beyond. Not without turning into Helen Keller and going blind, at least. There's also chakra exhaustion in Naruto. Every technique consumes chakra, and overusing it can lead to physical exhaustion, loss of consciousness, or even death. In Destiny, Guardians can only wield one subclass at a time, and while Guardians can be revived by their ghosts should they die, destroying a ghost permanently ends a Guardian's life. In One Piece, there are physical trade-offs to consuming a devil fruit, which include losing the ability to swim, leaving Luffy and other devil fruit users susceptible to drowning. Sometimes Luffy even dries up like a raisin. Yes, Luffy, who at the apices of his power, Gear 5, even has a time limit to its usage, especially since the ability continuously is draining his stamina and straining his muscles. And here's why limitations are important. The limitations ensure battles are not just about raw power, but also clever tactics, resilience, and ingenuity, revitalizing conflict and keeping tension fresh. They also make the characters more relatable, push them to become more creative and adept with their skill set. Maybe you can also consider layering your power system. Now, what do I mean by that? For example, in One Piece, every devil fruit user, if they attune in and enrich their power enough and refine their haki, are able to reach a stage of their devil fruit called awakening. As we know, awakening is a whole nother sector of One Piece, a whole nother level. Even within One Piece, there are various types of haki users who may not even be able to use devil fruit. There's observation haki, which allows the user to sense presence, strength, and intentions of others. There's ornament haki, which enables the user to basically harden their body and use it as a weapon. There's conquerors, which is powerful ability that grants the user dominance over others and the capacity to overwhelm their opponents mentally and physically, which can sometimes result in unconsciousness even. In Naruto, the Uchiha have different levels of the Sharingan technique they can use and progress to, dependent on the threshold of trauma and suffering they've endured. The Tomori Sharingan, the Mangekyo Sharingan, and the internal Mangekyo Sharingan. Every person in My Hero has a unique quirk, a special ability that defines their combat style and personality. Midoriya trains extensively to refine and control his quirk of crying, and you see, the more he cries, the more powerful he becomes. I'm just joking. He develops techniques like full cowling, which enhances his overall speed and strength. Mastering full cowling has levels of percentages. 20%, 50%, allows Midoriya to increase his speed and power step by step until he gets to 100. Here's the significance of layering. The more creative and adaptable you are in combining these layers, the closer you get to reaching that game-changing awakening or peak mastery where new dimensions of power and possibility open up. Consider embracing layering not just as a method, but as a path to true mastery and creative dominance in your power system. Mastering a layered approach to your abilities allows you to achieve more than just surface level strength. Every choice, from refining your base powers to integrating advanced skills, builds a more intricate, robust, and formidable system of interaction. Of course, last but not least, obviously you need your own creativity and ingenuity. That is what makes each power system truly unique. Well, that, and of course your personalized experiences that you draw inspiration from. So try not to box yourself into some of the preset frameworks that you see around media and fictional works, movies and books. Think outside the box. Don't feel as if you have to be locked into one sort of elemental power system, right? It's good, of course, for consistency and giving your audience sort of idea of what's going on, not making them confused. But what I'm trying to say is, right, you don't have to follow traditional system of power systems that you've seen. But don't get me wrong, traditional systems of power are great, right? They're great for that reason. They're traditional for that reason. They're used consistently for that reason. But even those things can be overplayed, and that's just something to keep in mind, right, while you're developing your own techniques. So go forth and create something so out of this world that'll have us thinking we're trapped in a genjutsu. Go find what makes your world and your characters unique and what separates them from the rest. And create a power system that will have us yelling to the top of our lungs. I will leave a link to my socials in the description below, and if you took anything from this video, I want you to take a moment, please, to hit that subscribe button below and like the video. Like the video. It pushes these videos out so that others can take key tokens that you've gained. So do your fellow comrades a favor. Let me know what your favorite aspect of world building is in the comments below, and also The stream setup is almost complete, so keep an eye out for that. As a reminder, there will be a giveaway for that. And with that, remember, if ever you are lost in forestry of words, strip your mind from fantasy and look to the window of the world, and there your mind will run free.